I am interviewing Brittany Beal. She is an American who grew up overseas in several countries. Most recently, she spent 5 years in Cairo, Egypt, before moving back to the U.S. for school. This interview will be about her experience in Egypt and the perceptions and cultural differences between Egypt and the U.S. Okay, Brittany. In general, what do you find as some of the biggest cultural differences between Egypt and the U.S.?
When I first moved there, I guess the biggest cultural difference I could remember was that the work week was from Sunday to Thursday. And so their holy day was on Friday. So I'm used to having, Sunday as being our Christian holy day. And now I'm in a Muslim country. And the work week school week went from Sunday to Thursday. So it was really weird getting up and going to school on Sunday. It just felt wrong. And then when I'd go, visit somewhere else and it was normal, I just didn't understand. I'm like, what do you mean we have to get up and do stuff on Friday? We're supposed to sleep in. So
Yeah, and you say it's an Islam country, so that is practiced by most Egyptians. Is there anything particular they do, like, for their, do they pray more? Do they, you say they take Fridays off,
they do.
but...
They have a call of prayer, which is 5 times a day, so that was kind of different, especially the school that I went to over there. Some teachers would take time out of the day to go pray, and local kids, well, not local kids, but kids that could go to the school that were Muslim, they would take time out of, they would be released from class to be able to go and pray and fulfill their spiritual needs, I guess, that they needed for the day. So, yeah, prayer was 5 times a day. So they had loudspeakers on mosques that would just start yelling in Arabic, and that was the call to prayer, and it happened all the time. So
you would always go to the mosque to pray?
Yeah. They would either go to the mosque or they would go sit in a room wherever they were, and they would always, their mat that they would pray on, because they have to be on a mat, it would always be facing Mecca, which is their holy grounds, kind of like Jerusalem is to Christians. Okay. So they were always facing Mecca.
Okay. How about travel? Do you travel around much? I mean, can you get places in Egypt, or do you usually stay in Cairo? Like, how is driving and that kind of things in those countries?
It was a free-for-all. I was actually, when I was there, I was quite a bit younger, and I learned how to drive a standard car when I was about 11. Wow. And shared my car with my brother, who was 15, and we would drive to school in our standard bug, and it was, our dad always told us to have a 50 on us, and if anything happened, just slip the 50 to the guard or security guard or policeman, whoever was there, and then we'd be on our way. So it just it was definitely different. There's no stop signs. There's no traffic lights. There were in, other parts, but where we were, there's more Americans, and it was just more rural, I guess, than downtown.
Okay, so they also mainly speak Arabic over there.
Mm-hmm.
Did you learn any Arabic phrases to help you communicate? Or is it easy to find, like, locals that speak English when you're out trying to do business and shop and stuff?
The area I was in, definitely there were more Muslims that spoke, more Egyptians that spoke English, because they catered, Egypt is a country that has a pyramid, so they really have to cater to their tourists. So they do pick up, little bits of English here or there, and to be able to communicate. But the area I was in, it was okay. I did pick up a few, your basic words, like I still remember, like ala tool, which is go straight if you're in a taxi cab, or just the basic numbers. We all had maids and security guards and gardeners, and so we would pick up bits and pieces from them. But the thing that stinks is when you do move, you often lose a lot of those little words that you used all the time. But downtown Cairo, other parts of Cairo, it was harder to find people who spoke English, and especially now, I don't think I'd say I was American.
Yeah.
And our parents always told us, if you're in a cab or somewhere, say you're Canadian if they ask you, because you just don't know. I mean, that can happen anywhere. Somebody could be a radical or something like that, and blonde hair. If you look Western, then they're gonna definitely treat you differently. So we had to be conservative in that aspect.
Okay, a lot of countries have greetings that are very specific to their country. Like here, it's the handshake, probably, or maybe a hug. What are greetings like in Egypt?
Greetings, they would do handshakes and maybe a kiss on the cheek. But something that was definitely the greeting that they said was Salam Alaikum, which means uh, like may peace be with you
Okay.
is kind of the translation, but it's more of like a spiritual, like Allah, their God kind of greeting. But that was a thing that they always said, that they always said Salam Alaikum instead of, hi. It was more of like a, I guess,
God bless you,
their
or-
slang. Yeah, their slang for like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
That,
And you
that's
could
always
say
what they
that-
said.
Like, you could say that as an American as well.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
they didn't mind
Salam
that.
alaikum. And then another saying that was really, really big for them is that, being a third world country, things didn't always happen when they said. So, 1 hour could be like 4 Egyptian hours. And they always said, Mishfish Miskela, which means oh with time, which meant okay, maybe in 3 weeks instead of, 2 days, like you said. So,
what did you find personally the most difficult to adjust to while living in Egypt? Is there one thing that you just hated, oh my gosh, I wish I was in the U.S. because they have this and Egypt doesn't?
The one thing that I definitely missed as a kid was going to the grocery stores, American candy. That was such a big deal. We didn't have grocery stores that had we had the basic Snicker bars and Twix, but there was no Sweet Tarts. There was no any kind of candy. The grocery stores were very small, and there were markets basically.
Kind of local.
Yeah, very very local. And when you would fly back, from if you did go visit in the U.S., you'd bring back things like cereal. I mean, you just bring back 8 or 10 huge bags because you couldn't get that stuff over there. And seasonal stuff, they didn't have any kind of seasonal stuff or any kind of, Valentine's candy or Halloween candy or anything. And so there were kids that had that were in the military, had military families, and they got to go to the U.S. commissary, and they could buy candy, and we thought they were pretty cool because they got to buy candy. But we did it. Definitely the grocery stores. That was the thing. We would start counting down, and then we go to, that'd be one of the first things we go to was a grocery store and just go buy everything and anything we wanted because we finally could.
All right, thank you, Brittany.
All right.
That's it for today. Thank
Thank you.